Yeah. Well, how many American soldiers died yesterday? Here's the thing, Rex. I used to have this gay neighbor upstate, and we were lighting off fireworks on July 4th, and his ugly little dog disappeared. And he was like, "My dog's dead," and he started crying and everything. I'm not saying you're a crybaby, but I went up to him. I was like, "Dude, your dog's not. He just disappeared during fireworks. They all disappear during fireworks. Don't panic." And what happened to about 12 hours later, his dog showed up, and all those tears were for nothing. I'm not saying you and your dad are nuts. I know it looks very bad for me, but as of 1:43 p.m. on July 29th, I can still argue that this is a military operation. I'm still on the Trump train. Yes, there's talk of Netanyahu.
His argument here literally is, this analogy was goofy too, make no sense. But the argument here is, hey, y'all got to vote for the Republicans. I know we have a president who wants to have a war and he's going to go kill a bunch of people that no one in the country agrees with. We don't agree either, but just vote for him anyway. And we'll get some other shit we want and we'll just go let him murder all those people. That's literally the argument that they keep making. And they keep wondering why people are like, no, I'm not going to vote for him if he's going to go murder people. Like, why would we do that? But that's literally the argument that they're making for us. And thinking we're crazy for being like, no, we're not going to do that. Like,
there's war hawk talk. There's neocon talk. But as far as what's really going on, I still am not paying you guys the $100 I bet.
All right, let me ask you a question, because you're kind of pointing to Netanyahu there. You diminish his role a little bit. He just described his relationship with President Trump when asked by reporters as
Gavin's fell on hard times. He can't afford that bet, I think. I think that's the issue here. It's not just that he's Scottish and cheap as shit. It's because he's fell on hard times, I think.
Say, are there cracks in the relationship? He says, no, it's a wall of granite. What do you think of that? Did he drag us into this war? Did he create it?
There is an argument for that that's much more pragmatic than people think. The basic, anti-Trump argument is that Netanyahu said, "Hey, Trump, be my bitch. Go there and go attack Iran." I don't think that's what happened. I think what happened was Trump knew Israel was attacking Iran. He knew there was going to be retaliation. So to minimize American damage, he was all but forced to get in there and blow up a lot of Iran's capabilities. So their retaliation towards Israel didn't hurt America too much. But as I said on that Brandon Straka debate,
how would it hurt America? If they blew up every bit of Israel, how would that hurt America? I would be delighted. I would not bother me in the least.
This is a very bold and crazy move that I admire. That's what New York real estate guys do. They make big moves.
You admire the war?
I do.
Wow.
So far, I admire the war.
Oh, is it a war? You just said it was.
It's not a war.
Oh,
no,
how does that? It's only a war when I want to call it one to help out my point here, right? Then it's a war. War is hell, right? Until we start talking, is it really a war? No, it's not really a war. So, are military engagements hell too?
Whatever.
You can't. No, you can't pick and choose, man.
Stop yelling at me.
Okay, I love you.
Let's not get drowned in syntax here.
Gavin reminds me so much of what's that guy's name? Alex Stein. That's who he debates like. Anytime they get in trouble, they just start yelling and trying to be funny. Yeah. You look crazy.
Whatever you want.
What about American blood? Can we drown in that? Because that's what the water is. That's what the ground is watered with in the Middle East right now. Those 18 Americans.
How many Americans have died in this quote unquote war in Iran?
Sarah Gonzalez, Tyler Woodall, Michael, and Angel.
Dead?
They just died in the last wave of attacks. Those are the people we know about. Do you trust the numbers coming out of DOJ? You think they're telling us the truth?
Okay, so I think the total is what, 18?
Yeah, but why does it matter? One is too many. All right, let me give you a quote. I'm going to give you a quote. I'm going to directly reference something that you just said. This is what Marco Rubio said on March 1st. Israel was going to attack. We feared American soldiers would die in the retaliation, so we had to respond. We had to join them in their initial wave of attack. Is that not them taking us to war?
Sure. I mean, you could argue that, but it's not a war yet. There's military operations like this 365 days a year. That's what America is. We have to intervene.
Watch this cheap famous person cling to that $100. You're never going to be able to debate that out of his hand, no matter what. No matter what. It could be World War III. No, he ain't paying that $100.
I'm an isolationist, by the way. I'm a Buchananite. I don't consider this a war. A war is boots on the ground to a substantial degree. A war is journalists there reporting on it. Oh my God, there was a bomb. Yeah, we're running through the Straits of Hormuz right now.
Oh, so he needs some footage. So can somebody get on AI and have him make some footage for Gavin so he can understand that this is a war?
That's a war.
But what about the entire world?
By the way, I like that you're freaking out. I want InfoWars to freak out by all means. But we need you there in your worst case scenarios. But I'm the glass is half full, and I'm still on the Trump train because I am optimistic that this will be good for us in the long run. This will lead to more control of oil in the Middle East. This will shift the power dynamic from
working out great. You're giving Iran more control, and we're getting less. It's working out great. You have masterminds at work.
Lloyd's of London and Britain deciding who does what over there to us deciding who does what.
Yes, let us fuck it up. We're doing great. Let us continue fucking it up.
Let me still
if it goes bad, China wins, and we're screwed. So it's a massive gamble.
At this point, I think it might be better if they win. It couldn't be worse for us.
How are we supposed to fight China? How are we supposed to fight China or fight Russia when we have no standoff munitions? According to CNN, we've used over 55%. I think it's more accurate we used over 90, but we can debate that number. The same with the precision guided bombs. We're almost out of those. So if we need to fight.
And how does that make us stronger? Like now that we've gone through all of those munitions, hey, the world knows we've gone through all those munitions. So how does it make us defensively stronger to use all of our munitions defending this other little shithead country that starts all these wars? How does that benefit America really? Like, is that making us be safer somehow with the rest of the world seeing that we're using all these munitions and failing to beat Iran? Do you think it makes us stronger? I think it makes us much, much weaker. We look like pussies, like straight up pussies.
There could not be a better time to be quote unquote vulnerable in front of China and Russia right now. Russia is embroiled in Ukraine and has been for many years. They're hanging by a thread. China is, I don't know what happened to China, but they've lost their military. They've got no balls anymore.
They just lost it. There's nothing there. There's just no military in China. And then 2 minutes later, he's going to try and tell us how scary China is. Do not believe a Zionist. They will argue both sides of every argument, right? China's really, really scary until, hey, now is a really good time for us to look vulnerable in front of China because, they're really pussies right now. They're not doing shit over there. Nothing. Do not believe Zionists.
They have deteriorated to the lowest point they've been in decades. So I'm not scared.
Where does that information come from that they're degraded and depleted? Because last time I checked, they were doing exercises right outside Taiwan and trying to do the.
Where would they have depleted those on since they haven't been attacking anybody, just saving all those munitions up for us? Like, where would they be depleted? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, Taiwan's over there going, oh, they got plenty.
The Belt of Pearl strategy to take the South China Sea. I don't know anything about that.
We can sit here with footnotes all day long.
This is the truth. No, they're not footnotes. It's geopolitical reality.
We don't want to be reading the footnotes here. We don't need any what is that called? Fact checking. We don't need that shit.
Report on this every single day. 6 hours live every single day, talking about the war at 2 a.m. when it started, Gavin. It is a war.
You can kvetch and moan about how we're in World War III, and I'm happy to join you when we get there. But, this is
how they get away with it later. Like if Iran does something to us and then they'll act all crazy. What are y'all doing? This is how false flags get in. Like they know they can do this to people, right? But they'll get all offended if Iran attacks us and kills like 3 people. 3 people die, 3 Americans. We got to make this war worse. We started this. We have killed their children. They think they are at war. So you could sit here and pretend like, oh, I don't think we're at war still. They're dead children that would disagree, right? Whenever children in a foreign land are dead because we drop bombs on them, we are in a war. Like that's maybe not from our perspective because we think they're little pussies that can't do anything back. But from their perspective, they are at war with us. So it's just insane to me whenever everybody starts clutching their pearls, whenever Americans here start getting their shit fucked up. but it's all because of we're letting the leader guy get us in wars we don't need to be in. We're starting fights and then getting upset whenever we get hit back. And that's just not sensible here. You can't look at it that way. We are in a war from their perspective. So we're going to have to deal with ramifications that come to us from that, right? Logically, wouldn't you think?
It's a matter of opinion at this point.
I don't think so. I don't think so. When we use over half our standoff munitions, I don't think it's a matter of opinion. I think it's a matter of numbers, logistics, and fact. We don't have the missiles to fight a conflict. We degraded our own military, Gavin. We did the thing we said we were going to do to Russia. Is that not true?
That's what happens when you blow people up. You run low on bombs. I don't think you hate Iran enough. I don't think.
Are you blowing people up just regular style, or do you do that in wars, Gavin? Where's the military blowing people up and it's not in war? It's called the Defense Department, not the Offensive Department. They're not supposed to just be blowing people up if it's not in a war.
I think you hate Islam enough. Islam is destroying the West currently. They've already invaded our country. Aren't you in Texas?
Is that Shia or Sunni? Is that the Takfiri Wahhabis that we set up in Saudi Arabia that brought that to the West, or is that them? They were over there. We killed their pope. We killed their religious leader. We made them mad. It's like attacking an ant pile.
What you're talking like the problem with Islam is new. We've never not had a problem with Islam. This goes back to the Crusades. This goes back to the Ottoman Empire. They're incompatible with the West.
Okay, well then fuck you, Gavin. I want to end the Crusades. Let's just be friends. Let's put our fucking guns down. I'm done with this war since the 1300s. I'm over with it. I'm done. I'm out. I don't want to hate Islamic people. I don't want to hate Jewish people. I mean, Israeli people, yeah, we can hate them, but not Jewish people, right? We can't hate just based off of religion anymore. No more wars just because they're brown over there. I don't see a reason for this in 2026.
The yin and yang of Earth is us versus Islam, I guess versus communism too. But we've always had a problem with them, and I think this is actually you're making me like this more now. The more we speak, I'm actually enjoying.
Well, yeah, you're a neocon.
Or a retard.
I'm not a neocon. I hate neocons. I'm a isolationist, but I would put this under the blanket.
How can you say you're isolationist when you support this military action, as you call it?
I'm an isolationist who likes to go blow up brown people and start wars in foreign lands. That doesn't make any sense at all. That is the dumbest thing I've heard since that Batwa girl says she's a leftist MAGA or whatever. Like, this is just a conflict of terms. It doesn't even make sense.
How does that work?
You need to do military actions once in a while. You have to flex your muscles. Here's an analogy, Rex. You're on the prison yard. Once in a while, if you're the king of the prison yard, you have to get in a little tussle. You have to get in a fight to remind everyone that you're the boss. Remember when Tony Soprano randomly beat up his assistant there after he got out of the hospital? He didn't want to do that. He didn't like it. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't World War III, but it reestablished Tony Soprano as the head of the family, as the head of that crew. I don't think the Sopranos are a family.
All right, you know what? You know what? I can see the logic there. I can see the logic there.
What? The logic? Because it's on TV shows? Because on TV shows you got to whack somebody sometimes? That's the logic. What? I don't even see what he's saying. What do you mean you see the logic there? Yes, people, you can do that if you're in your little social hierarchy, but these are countries. These are not just characters on a TV show, Gavin. Who makes the TV shows, Gavin? Oh, God. They brainwash you from every angle, I guess. If you're retarded enough to think TV shows are reality.
My problem with the analogy is that we're not the mob boss. The mob boss is being blackmailed by the gold digger. That's what's going on here. Israel got us into this conflict. You talk about Islam being a threat. I totally agree. Ayatollah never called me a goy. Ayatollah never tried to kick me off the internet. That was all people over here.
There is enough real deal, tangible, disgusting pedophiles like this guy they just caught in Tacoma raping 4-year-olds. Like, here's my problem with Epstein. So far, all I can see is pubescent and post-pubescent girls. That's disgusting. It's not my cup of tea, but it's the same as Motley Crue and Led Zeppelin. And my beef with everyone.
Again, with the fucking social media shit, like the pop culture references. Yes, they are despicable too, and they need to go to prison. Right? Put all the ones chasing 12-year-old girls, put them in prison too. But that's not a justification for letting Epstein happen. Definitely not a justification for having, the CIA and Mossad do this. It's definitely not. I just don't see that as a justification.
Freaking out on 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds is you dilute the term pedophile. And now when we hear about this guy
okay, he's not a pedophile, but he's still a kid toucher, right? They're still kids. They're still children. So he's still a child toucher. So does that better? I don't really use that P word because they kick you off here if you don't say PDF file. So I don't really use that word as much. I try to use diddler or kid toucher, but it doesn't really change the argument much. We'll just change it to a different word for Gavin here. Don't tell me why we shouldn't do it.
Tacoma, when we hear about the Mexican cartels literally trafficking children, we lump it in with some dumb 16-year-old sluts who don't have a reasonable dad. And we see it all as the same thing. There's disgusting creeps who have sex with adolescent girls. They make me sick. And then there's pedophiles
who have islands where they bring people to fuck children and then eat them, right? Maybe even eat them. I'm not going to say definitely eat them, but there's talk of eating them. Beef jerky and pizza and shit like that. I just think we need to look more into it, Gavin. And I think your side's the side trying to hide it and keep us from looking into the important people that do that kind of thing. So I think you're losing this one pretty bad too, Gavin. You might want to change the subject again.
Who have sex with 5-year-olds, and there's plenty of that. Those throats need to be slit.
How can you?
So the argument is, let the CIA use their blackmail because they're just 16-year-old girls. Let them do that to those children, and because they're bad people over there too. So because bad people there, we let CIA be bad people here. That's the argument? No, it fails.
Say that he didn't do the things you're talking about as vile. Just throw this up again, crew. Ghislaine Maxwell sentenced to 20 years in prison for conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse minors. Now, I don't see how we can go from here into saying he's just a pervert. I really don't get it. Why is Ghislaine in jail?
That doesn't mean anything. This is the same justice system that murdered Jeffrey Epstein, or took him away. Oh, let me rephrase that. This is the same justice system that disappeared Jeffrey Epstein. The populace doesn't know what.
Oh, so they disappeared him, Gavin. Good point. Let's keep hiding that. Let's not know what happened. Let's keep going. Maybe they disappeared him. Let's just keep doing that, Gavin. You're arguing for them and you can't even hide the fact that you think they disappeared him too. You don't even know if he's dead. And you still think we're supposed to support this side that's keeping all that hidden. Just keep that hidden away from us. We're not adult enough to know what actually happened. We're just too dumb. We're the goyim. Like he said.
What happened with that? So I don't trust the Ghislaine Maxwell thing. Just like Iran, the second you show me an 11-year-old raped on that island, I'm in. I want to talk about it all.
Oh, so 12-year-olds don't count, right? We got to find you an 11-year-old because that's where Gavin makes his line at, right? A 12-year-old's still kind of an adult for Gavin. So we got to find an 11-year-old. It's very specific, right? They have to be a specific color, Gavin? Like what? How does this work in your fucking brain?
All day. But we've been talking about all of these hypotheticals. And again, it's good that someone is out there on the front lines like you guys fighting for the hypotheticals. But I'm here in actual tangible evidence. And all I see is adolescents on Epstein Island. And I want us to focus on real molestation. We have real, bona fide, serious pedophiles. And don't you think it's unusual, by the way, that the Epstein.
Let's focus on those other guys. There's real ones over there. Let's not focus on these and look into these any further because there's real ones we got to be focusing on. Let's do that and let's ignore this one, right? Why? Why would we ignore this one? This one may involve the CIA. You don't want to know? No, let's not look. Let's look away. Look away because they're bad over there.
Experts like Owen, who's a friend of mine, they never talk about any other pedophilia. They don't seem concerned with the drag queen story hour pedophiles.
That's not true. Owen covered that on air for 10 years straight.
Yes, he did.
I watched War Room growing up. That's completely not true. Owen would pioneer that type of content.
I don't hear the Epstein people talk about the 3-year-olds pedophiles. You know what I mean?
Oh, so we've got, now it's getting even younger. Now we've got to go find 3-year-old ones for Gavin. Like that's what his taste has fancied to, right? We need 3-year-olds. You got to ignore all the 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds because Gavin needs a 3-year-old for evidence. let's just keep letting them do what they do until we find evidence of a 3-year-old. But we're not going to look for evidence, so don't worry. See y'all later. See y'all later.
The pedophiles who are with actual children, they seem totally 100% focused on Epstein with no other pedophilia.
I think the idea is that some monster freakazoid that's trying to diddle little kids is not the same thing as a billionaire influence peddler who potentially has blackmail and all these powerful people. He had power of attorney over Les Wexner, billionaire. He was on the Trilateral Commission. This is not a normal guy. When you have not a normal guy engaging in influence peddling, blackmailing, that's also a pedophile, people have a lot of questions, Gavin. I do. I consider he's evil.
One thing I want to make clear, too, is I am 100% convinced, and so are most people who are interested in this subject. I'm 100% convinced that Epstein worked with Mossad and they blackmailed the Democrats because the Democrats were starting to drift away from Israel. So
he's not completely retarded. Good. I was starting to worry.
So they said, let's blackmail Clinton and the like and say, you either support Israel or we're going to show you banging 16-year-olds. That's what I think Epstein Island was. I obviously don't like that. I don't like that Israel's using their secret service to terrorize our politicians, but it was Democrats. So they're not.
Who gives a shit? Let's put them all in jail, including the people currently covering it up, right? How about that? We put everyone who covered this up even a little bit in jail, including the people who happen to be Republicans right now, right? That's my solution to it. Anyone who covered it up, put them in jail. Put them in jail. But how about we stop making excuses based off of who we vote for? How about we do that?
Not high on my priority list. Their rights. Bill Clinton's sex life is not high on my priority list.
All right. So you acknowledge and establish the intelligence connection. We both agree with that. We're about to go to break.
I never doubted that.
I take offense to him calling a sex life having sex with children. That's not my sex life. I don't know why it would jump into your head that that's just his sex life to have sex with children. It's a little bit more than that. It's criminal. It's criminal.
Yeah, I never doubted that.
I want to go to break.
You know, if they're on the left and they committed crimes, I think we can expose them on InfoWars and Censored.tv and mock them and enjoy laughing at their hypocrisy. But as far as like, when they go to jail, I don't know. It's Fauci.
So back to Epstein, right? We don't need to put all these kid touchers in jail. Let's just laugh at them and make fun of them here on this TV show. That's plenty enough. Let them continue living their, jet-setting lifestyles. Let them, keep eating caviar out of a 12-year-old's belly button. Keep letting them do that kind of shit. But let's not get them, no, we don't need to bring the cops into this. Right. No, Gavin, fuck you. Fuck you.
She's not going to jail, so don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to jail. I just think it's super interesting that everyone basically knows this guy was part of a coordinated plan to destroy the country. And the EcoHealth Alliance emails are out there; they're publicly available. Fauci lied; people died about the gain of function research that went on in the Wuhan Institute of Virology that we funded specifically. So, like all of us collectively, let's pat ourselves on the back, shake each other's hands because we paid for this to be made. Exactly. Yeah, we got to pat ourselves on the back and the shoulder. And that's the real indignity of it is he's so old, he knows he's going to die before any real accountability could come. Right? Come on.
Well, let's relentlessly mock all the ass kissers from back during COVID. There was these guys called the Beta Boys or something. I forget.
Kind of like we're going to be doing Gavin, like right now. Like I'm literally doing it as we talk. That's what this show is about. I'm making fun of Gavin on this one because still on the Trump train. We're mocking you in real time.
Forget what their exact name, but they were like sweating and they're heterosexuals, if you can believe this. At least 3 of the 4 are. And they were so nervous and excited when Fauci was coming on. Let's find them and mock them. This is our chance to gloat. The only joy we get in this world as far as the left wing screwing up is gloating. And it would be a crime not to do it at this point. We
Technically, it's a crime not to put them in jail and just keep them out so you can mock them. Technically, that is malfeasance in office. If, the government knows that they committed a crime and they don't do it, they are committing a crime by enabling that. That's how we're going to get the Epstein people on a lot of those.
We got to get in there and go,
okay, stay with me. That was a good 5.
Now go back to your supermodel wife. Fuck you, Gavin. Fuck you. They go down for what they did. No mockery. Mockery is not a sentence here.
A minute, we're gonna get back into it with